I want to talk to you about the P2P platform, so peer-to-peer lending platform that give business loans up to $100,000, in some cases $500,000. Okay, and but the thing is that when we talk about the peer-to-peer loan, the very first one I want you to think about it is funding circle. So funding circle is pretty generous when it comes to your ability to actually raise a lot of cash. If you're an existing business or a new business, not a problem. So when you think about funding circle, think about a business peer-to-peer business lender that actually gives term loans up to 7 years. We're talking about a tenor that goes up to 7 years, and those term loans are unsecured. In other words, you don't have to pledge any business loans, any business assets to actually qualify for this business loans. And we're talking about a maximum loan amount of $500,000. This is really good. The APR, in terms of APR, you have 15 to 45%, which is a little high, but again, the APR ultimately depends on a constellation of factors, including your business credit score and personal credit score. And what I want to say here is that when we talk about funding circle, the cash can be available within two business days, which is really fast for a P2P business lending platform. So you have 2 business days. You have competitive rates among online lenders, no minimum revenue requirements, and terms again up to 7 years. Now, the other thing is that in some cases, this is what we actually, for us, it is a bummer. In some cases, you might have to pledge a personal guarantee depending upon the lender. Remember, when we talk about a P2P business lender, you have a constellation of lenders, of investors rather, who are bidding upon your business loan. So the thing is that they want you. Some investors want you to be in business for a minimum of 2 years to actually qualify. Even though we have seen in our experience that even if you're a new LLC, you can qualify. No LLC, no S corporation, no C corporation, no partnership, no company in general, you can qualify for business funding up to 100,000 as long as you have the right paperwork. Okay. And now some lenders also ask for a minimum high credit score, depending upon again the loan amount that you seek. But overall, we love the fact that that funding circle is pretty flexible. And but the only thing is, they do not want you to have bankruptcies in the past 7 years. So they want to really make sure that you have a clear background on that front. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. When we talk about P2P platform that give business loans to all kinds of businesses, you want to think about Kiva. Now, Kiva is not really going to give you a lot of cash because Kiva is great for micro businesses. And when you think about Kiva, I want you to think about a nonprofit lender, nonprofit business lender. And the cool thing about Kiva here is that when you actually apply for a business loan on Kiva, basically you have investors who are basically, those are donors. They're not really, they don't have, I mean, of course they want to recoup their investment, but they're not looking for like a high ROI on their investments. So on Kiva, don't be too greedy, because you're not going to get anywhere above $15,000, 1-5. So $15,000, that's really the maximum you can actually raise on Kiva. And the thing about Kiva here is that they do not really care too much about your business credit history or your personal credit history. But the only thing is that the process takes longer, because Kiva has to actually raise the funds through private investors before granting you the loan. But what we've seen about Kiva here is that if you're lucky, if you do like a proper pitch, because you gotta do a pitch, because you're applying for a business loan, and you're not applying like just to a regular bank. You're applying to a constellation of investors, and those investors have to actually resonate. Like, your message has to resonate, your business model has to resonate with those investors who are going to ultimately fund your business loan. Okay, but one thing I need to say here is that you are ineligible if you are currently in bankruptcy or have been convicted of a violent or financial crime in the last 5 years. They really pay attention to that. And so peer-to-peer business loans from Kiva are almost certainly more accessible to new businesses than our bank or online banks. Okay, and bank loans or online loans rather. If you have a spotty credit, let's say if you have a spotty credit history, less than a year, you have been in business for less than a year, or you even have uneven revenue, it is possible for a P2P lender like Kiva to help you get funding, even when a financial institution cannot. So you have flexibility there. Also, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about P2P platform that give business loans to all kinds of businesses. Another lender I want to share with you is Honeycom. Honeycom Credit. And Honeycom Credit is actually great for businesses with established customer bases. What we love about Honeycom is that they have a streamlined process. They have a great decisioning process, and you are able to raise up to $500,000 with Honeycom. Although on average, so you can raise anywhere from 25 grand all the way to $500,000. What we love about Honeycom is that on average, you might raise anywhere from 75 grand to $150,000. And this is kind of cool. What we love about Honeycom is that they want you to really have they want you to have a social media presence. Okay, so basically it's a P2P platform that gives business loans, but they pay attention to your ability to actually market yourself, your ability to have backers, your ability to have followers, not just regular followers, but because the thinking is that those followers are potentially customers. So they want you to have at least 250 followers to raise money on Honeycom. Okay, plus the bigger your audience, the easier crowdfunding can be. So to actually apply, you also need business financial statements, tax returns, and a business plan. And everyone with more than a 20% stake in the business has to undergo a background check. This is really important. And Honeycom sets borrowers' loan terms based on their applications. And unlike Kiva, Honeycom charges posting and origination fees, and you have to pay interest on borrowed funds. And one thing I want to say here is that with Honeycom, you actually can raise a larger amount. So we're talking about $500,000 potentially. So that's $100,000. I mean, that's $500,000, which is really great for a regular business. You can actually do a lot of stuff with that amount. That's really great. So the loan range we're speaking here about is $25,000 all the way to $500,000. Okay, and Honeycom, just make sure that Honeycom you start a little early. So basically, the funding process takes about 7 to 10 days. So it's not really as fast. So if you're looking for fast funding, you're not going to get that through Honeycom. But the cool thing is that you'll get something as long as you have an established social media presence, like an established online presence, and you're able to actually work through their process. You should be good, ready. You should be good to go. Another P2P lender that gives the business loans is actually Prosper. Now, Prosper is wonderful for new businesses. When you really think about it, Prosper doesn't have business loans, but you can actually they offer personal loans, right? But you can actually use the personal loan to actually fund your business purposes. This is why I said it's really good for new businesses. So think of Prosper as a peer-to-peer personal loans marketplace that offers loans to borrowers with credit scores of 600 or above, though lower scores may still qualify depending on other factors. So you can enter basic financial information on Prosper's website to find out whether you qualify for a loan before facing a hard credit pull. This is really cool because you are basically preserving your FICO score. And so because these are not business loans, the platform will probably focus on your personal financial history when deciding whether you qualify, which could really make you a great fit for startups, or businesses with uneven revenue histories. So, however, Prosper's maximum loan amount is $50,000. So if you're looking for Prosper to sort of raise money for your business, you're sort of limited, right? 50 grand, that's the maximum. But hey, listen, if you have a great credit score on the personal side, but you're a new business, in other words, you haven't gotten a chance to establish business credit yet, you can still parlay your great personal credit score, your great FICO score into getting a loan from Prosper. You can use that loan to actually fund your business. A lot of people do it. This is nothing new. Just make sure that you pay the loan as soon as possible, and you do not confuse. You do not mix your personal assets with your business assets. So there will be a little bit of transition in here. So when you get the cash, you get it from your personal accounts all the way, and you move the fund to your business accounts and back and forth when you repay the loan. Okay, but hey, it shouldn't be really that complicated. One thing I want to say overall is that Prosper is pretty flexible. They'll work with you. They'll actually will follow the loan history, the loan payment history, the repayment history to see how you're doing. And if you have any problem, any question, it's always great to contact Prosper first. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about P2P platforms that gave business loans up to $500,000. I want to quickly talk to you a little bit about P2P business loan. It's very important to really understand because when people talk about P2P business loan, people think, well, are you sure that you're going to get a loan? I mean, if you're a business and you're looking for funding, right? You have all kinds of ways where you can raise business. You can raise funding, right? You can raise cash through traditional circuits like banks or credit unions. You can go to online lenders. You can go to alternative lenders, the alts. You can go to fintechs. You can also go to P2P business lenders or personal lenders. And the thing is that when we talk about P2P business loans, we're talking about business loans made by individual or private investors, not financial institutions like banks. So you will typically get P2P business loans via a third party that acts as an intermediary, handling the application and disbursement for borrowers and collecting funds from investors. In some cases, as with Funding Circle, those may be institutional investors such as a hedge fund or investment bank. In other cases, peer-to-peer loans are similar to crowdfunding. For loans with platforms like Kiva, individual investors chip in small amounts toward a borrower's total loan amount. And what happens here is that the business owner pays investors back over time, but these individuals may be more focused on supporting a business than maximizing returns as an institutional investors might be. And peer-to-peer lending is more common for personal loans than compared to business loans. You can use a personal loan to fund your business idea. The rates may be higher than other forms of financing. Just be aware of that. So when we talk about P2P business loans, let's look at the pros and cons here. First of all, the pros. You have less stringent qualifications than banks. So if you have fair credit or less than 2 years in business, you may have an easier time qualifying for a P2P loan than a bank loan, particularly from a lender like Kiva or Honeycom Credit, which they actually operate more like a crowdfunding platform. And on crowdfunding platform, on all kinds of platforms, lenders are invested in your success. So in order for the people who support your business to recoup their investments, perhaps of their own money, your business needs to last. That may be enough to actually spur your funders to talk about your company locally or on social media to help grow your customer base. And so those are the pros. What about the cons? Well, you have higher APRs than banks, and you have potentially small loan amounts. So you're not going to get like 1 million, but you'll get something anyway. Let's talk about alternatives to P2P business loans. So if you tried everything, let's say you've tried everything and you cannot get business loans through a P2P platform, then you want to really think about something else, And so if you need fast funding, online business loans can usually be funded in a matter of days. So they tend to actually charge higher APRs than P2P business loans. And you may be able to qualify for financing even if you have bad or fair credit. This is really cool. If you are a very small business, microloans, which are often issued by community development financial institutions, the CDFIs, can really help borrowers who need 50 grand or less. So this is kind of cool. I'm just setting the bar, so you just need to set the bar a little lower, but you will qualify, not a problem. And if you do not qualify for traditional financing, crowdfunding can help you raise the money from investors and supporters. And so there are actually different kinds of crowdfunding. So you'll have to choose between giving investors equity in your company or offering a different unique perk. This is kind of cool. And another way to actually raise money if you do not want to go the traditional route when it comes to business financing is actually look into invoice financing, for instance. So invoice financing is really another alternative type of lending that relies on the value of unpaid customer invoices instead of things like business financials or personal credit. And so if you are looking for, let's say, the least expensive option, Another way to avoid taking on debts is by actually finding small business grants. And many local governments and corporations offer grants even for startups. So though they can be difficult to find and usually don't give large amounts, avoiding the cost of interest can be worth it in the long run when you really think about it. So you do have options. That's my point. My point is that you do have options when it comes to P2P platforms or anything else. Now let me give you a few tips before we close today's conversation and talk about tips to compare peer-to-peer business loans. So if you're thinking about a business loan from a peer-to-peer platform such as a Funding Circle, Kiva, Honeycom, Credit, or Prosper, then you really need to think a little bit about how to evaluate those loans, right? Those business loans, because otherwise you do not want to get a loan and realize, hey, listen, you actually have made the wrong decision here. And so what you want to do first is you want to consider qualification and personal guarantee requirements. So some platforms or some investors want you to have a PG, want you to actually have a personal guarantee, and some are not. I mean, if you think of Kiva, for instance, Kiva, they do not require you to have a PG, and Prosper neither. Honeycom, in some cases, they might ask you, and Funding Circle, same thing. They might ask you for a PG. So you really want to pay attention to that because, if lenders are requiring a personal guarantee, that means what? It means the owner is personally responsible for repaying the loan if the business cannot. So, and this again, you do not want to pledge your personal assets. So it's something you really need to think about. So you want to consider qualification and personal guarantee requirement. That's the first criterion for you to evaluate, to compare and contrast peer-to-peer business loans. You also want to compare available interest rates. So peer-to-peer business loan interest rates vary by lending platform, investor criteria, and borrower qualifications. So P2P rates may be lower than those available through traditional lenders, but they generally range from around 6% to 36%. In some cases, the APRs can go all the way to 50%, not a problem. So you also want to find a repayment term that fits your needs and budget. So if you listen to me right now and you have a business and you're looking for a business loan to sort of help you with your liquidity outflows, you really want to make sure that the P2P loan that you're going after fits your needs and budget. And the thing is, P2P loan terms also they vary by lender, but they generally range from 6 months to 5 years, much shorter than those available for the best small business loans. And this is so this may translate into high monthly payments. So make sure you can afford each of the P2P loans you consider. Okay. You also want to choose a platform with low origination fees. And as with other business loans, some P2P lenders charge origination fees between 1% and 7% of the loan amount. And you want to research each lending platform to determine the overall cost of borrowing before accepting a loan offer. You also need to determine whether loans are unsecured. Most peer-to-peer loans are unsecured, which means they do not require borrowers to pledge underlying business assets. However, some lenders may require collateral for certain loans, so you need to confirm a P2P loan is unsecured before signing on the dotted line. So it's just one of those things where you have to be really, really, really sure that you are comfortable with the whole thing. And so most peer-to-peer business lenders require the following information. As part of the application process, they have the preferred loan amount, business name, address and phone number, business owner information, number of employees, business legal structure, the time in business, the annual business revenue, business financial information, and a credit score usually 550 or 600 or higher. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Into this conversation, now let me just do a quick recap here. I was just talking to you about a few P2P platforms that give business loans to all kinds of businesses. So you have Funding Circle, you have Kiva, you have Honeycom Credit, and you have Prosper. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.